starting on time, Batman. Give him a second.
I am. Start on time. There's lots to talk about tonight.
I mean, let's have a little casual chatty chat for like 2 seconds and give him a minute. Leslie's got her wine. Is that gonna be on your food log, ma'am?
Look how big wine.
So you didn't go out to eat, but you're having wine?
Look how big her wine is filled.
I know, right? It's like from that TV show, like Cougar Town. It's like you want to hold it like this, like.
Hey. It's been a long day, honey. We almost burned down.
I would really like a glass of wine, but it's not gonna happen. So
you're better than me.
Have wine for breakfast.
I have broccoli, and you have big old Texas-sized wine.
I ate a healthy dinner. Does that count?
Yes, it counts.
I did a video today for the memorial group. That deserves a glass of wine.
Yay!
I saw your video.
I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's cute. You're very good on video.
Oh, no, I'm awful on video. I hate video.
Not. You don't give yourself enough credit. You're not. You're very good on video. All right. So I think this comes across in personalities because you're an emerald and you think it has to be perfect. Meanwhile, I do a video as a sapphire and I'm like, that's awesome. Way to go, Kimberly. And I put it up there, even if it stinks.
Who's this person on their iPhone whose face I can't see and name is unidentified? Welcome, whoever you are.
All right. Okay, let's start. So tonight we're going to talk about gyms, and Blaine is going to help me because she was at the last Dani, and I'm sure it's fresh on her mind. But a lot of you guys have been to Dani, and you're welcome to jump in or say something in the chat if you want to share, or maybe I'll just call you out. Krista Martinez. It's Krista Martinez. So what I'm going to do is just kind of do a brief overview of all the gyms, and then let one at a time, and then let Blaine kind of share from her notes anything that she wants to say. So if you haven't taken the gyms test, I strongly encourage it. One thing, let me mute everyone. All right. So one thing when you're taking the whole point of learning personalities, like they've been doing this for years. Like a lot of you have probably maybe done a Myers-Briggs test or done this if you're a teacher, or done this for your corporation. And there is a reason behind it if the company implements it or if the school actually implements it. But I really think if we implement this as a team, which is something I've done going for Dani Johnson the last couple of years, is really trying to figure out and learn what my team's gym is, which is easy because I can ask you to take the test and I get to know you better. But it really helps you get to know someone as a customer when you're first talking to someone and you're like, okay, what do you think this person's personality is? You get a feel for what they're motivated by, and it will direct the conversation as far as how you talk to them. Because an emerald is going to want completely different information than a sapphire or a pearl or a ruby. Like, it's very different depending on what gym they are. So the way that she does it in the weekend or whatever, it's actually a full half day. So obviously it's a lot of information that we're going to try to share. I was reading through my notes. I was like, I just want to share everything, but I can't say it as great as she does. So we'll talk more and more about it. But she always starts with the sapphires, and she's really funny. She's like, the emeralds don't care who we start with as long as we do it in a timely and efficient manner. The pearls just don't want to go first. They don't want to be the center of attention. The rubies would love to go first. They think they're the best, they're the leader. And so for that reason, she starts with the sapphires and makes the rubies go last. So the sapphires, anyone in here that's taken the test or has a lot of sapphire in them? Anyone, or is it just me? All right, Adrian. It's all right. I don't know that I want to lead the call with someone giving it a thumbs down because all the gyms are beautiful. So maybe you missed the point on the gyms. All the gyms have wonderful, wonderful qualities. They all have spiritual gifts, and they all have things they need to work on because we're human. Like, we're not God. We all have something that we need to work on. And if you think of the gyms truly as a gym, when you get a gym out of the the ground. It's rough and it's jagged. It's not very pretty. It's not very polished. It's kind of gnarly. And that's what a lot of people's gyms shine through. So you might hear gyms said in a negative way, like, oh, that's so pearl, or that's so ruby. Like, it shouldn't be a negative. It's just something that they need to polish and work on and make it pretty and make it shine in a good way. So sapphires are the life of the party. They're the jolt of energy in the room. The party doesn't start till the sapphire shows up. The sapphire is the one that's planning the party. The sapphire is the one that is going to be there because it is a party. They're the ones, like, you know, not necessarily even building a coaching business, but they think Summit sounds fun, so they show up year after year. Those are the sapphires. They want to be around everyone. They're very positive people, and they see the best in others. They like rubies. Rubies and sapphires are very similar in the fact that they love recognition, but for slightly different reasons. When a ruby, well, rubies want to be the best. Sapphires just want to be in the limelight. They just want to have attention, and they don't care necessarily that they're best. They just want to be in the middle of things. And if that means like being recognized and standing out in the group, then that's what they want. And like I said, these are things to pick up on your challengers. Like, what motivates them? Do they need constant recognition in the group and shout outs? Do they want to be invited to something? Is that something that would attract them to coaching? Is the community and the events and the free trips? True sapphires will work for recognition more than they will even work for money. Sapphires love human interaction. They're social butterflies. They love the variety of human experience and want to surround themselves with people and places and experience because that's what they enjoy most in life. From our sapphire friends, we can learn to not take life too seriously and to leave more time for fun. Have fun. As a sapphire, you can avoid pitfalls by understanding that not everyone feels happy-go-lucky. This is something that I have to work with. Not everyone feels happy-go-lucky. Not everyone has a positive attitude. Sapphires should take care not to come off as uncaring when other gyms share struggles. Sapphire's mantra and things they need to work on is eat that frog. So if you've never read the book, Eat That Frog, every sapphire should read it because it's about procrastination. It's about putting things off. It's about getting down to the work. And instead of just looking for the things that are fun. There's lots of office work and tedious things and things that you have to do to drive a business. But to me, that's not fun. Like, I want to make the flyer and I want to answer all my messages and I want to do the fun, cute stuff and get in my team and make a video. And that's not necessarily getting all my work done. So if you're working with a sapphire, you should remember to shine the limelight their way. Give them time to shine and value their positive energy contributions to your group, and try to be positive around them because sapphires don't want to waste time on negativity. They don't want to be around negative people. They don't want to be around negative Nellies. And then I'm going to let Blaine tell you more about from her notes.
Can you mute Krista?
Yeah. I'll mute all and then unmute you. All right. Okay, so one last thing, and then Blaine, I'll let you talk. Their spiritual gifts for a sapphire are they're encouraging, they're motivating, and they're inspiring. And then, all right, Blaine, go on sapphires.
Well, I think everybody on here, I mean, I'm trying to look at, there's a couple of unidentified callers. I don't know who you are, but the GEMS test is in Team Ignite under the files. If you haven't taken it and you don't know even maybe what we're talking about or what you are, I encourage you to just go on there and take it. It's a personality test that just kind of defines you as a gem. So I don't know. I wasn't thumb downing sapphires. I'm sounding like a kid. Thank you. But anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about. So the thing I thought was really cool is it's good to identify what you are, but like Kimberly said, it's even more helpful sometimes to identify what other people are. And this isn't just about your customers or your challengers or your coaches. This is in life, like your family. I was like, oh, that's my daughter. That's my friend, and how you can work that and how that coordinates. Because if you're not speaking their language and they're not speaking yours, then it's a big deal. So the couple notes that I had from this time, and I thought it was funny when she talked about sapphires and just being able to identify them from far away, like just by their clothing. Like sapphires are often dressed in bright clothes, and they have fun hair colors and multiple tattoos, and just a joy about life and life at the party. Like you generally spot them from across the room, which is true of many sapphires that I know. So I thought that was pretty funny. And I mean, they're awesome recruiters because they are the life of the party. So they're awesome promoters and recruiters of themselves and the business. They might struggle once, like, whoa, come do this party. Like, my team is fan-freaking-tastic. Like, come do it. And then they might need some help once they're here. They're like, oh, you came. That's really great. But now I'm going to need some help from an Emerald on how I'm going to help train you a little bit. So, which is great because that's what you want, like enthusiasm. And so they draw in people, and people are drawn to that. Pearls want to be at the party too. They just don't want anybody to know it sometimes. Like, so that's great. A sapphire is going to get them there. Of all, even an emerald's like, all right, I'm coming, but I'm coming at 7 if it starts at 7. So it's the ability to promote and recruit is great on them, but just remember that if you have a sapphire in your life and they get them there, you might need to help them figure out what to do with them once they've arrived, which is fun. And I thought it was a good point when she said that they are out of the box thinkers. Like, I'm pretty black and white, and so a sapphire comes at me sometimes and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, there's a system. Like, you just follow this system right here and this is how you do it. But that's a treasure, like being able to think outside of the box, because not everybody wants to follow my system. So I thought, like, their ability to come up with unique ways to do different things, run a fun different challenge group or whatever it is. My daughter can go 6 ways around the bend to get there, and I'm like, I mean, all right, we got there the same way, but I had a directions. Like, we could have just followed those, but she had more fun along the way, so that's okay too. And then I think the other great thing that another note I'll say about sapphires was it was a great point she made, that they love to play the game. Like, they want to be in on the game, but they're not trying to win. They want to win with the team. Like, they want everybody to win, which I think is really, that spoke to me about Kimberly. Kimberly is that way. Like me, I want to win. If you guys are winning with me, that's cool, but I want to win. Like, I'm just being legit right now. Like, I want to win. Sapphire wants to win. Like, that's great, but she wants everyone to win with her, because there should be a party and a big old celebration. So Kimberly would not have nearly as much fun if the spotlight was on her and she had won, as if this whole Team Ignite was on the stage with her. And then she's like, yeah, having a party. So that's great, because that makes for a great leader. Like, she's not going to lead past you. She's going to lead with you. So those were my sapphire. I mean, I could keep talking about it because it's all very exciting, but
I know there's so much. Like, I have a page on each note. So, like, if you ever go to Dani, it's funny because you'll have like a notebook and she's like, okay, now draw it in an X. And Dani is an emerald, by the way. Like, that's her primary gem, which most people don't guess because she speaks to every gem, and everyone's like, oh, she's a sapphire, she's a pearl, she's a ruby. But anyway, she's like, draw it in an X, and I can see all the emeralds getting ready, and Blaine next to me like, oh, I'm going to draw it in an X, and I'm going to take all my notes. And I'm like, no, stop. There is no way that you will fit all your notes in that little box. Like, you need a full page of notes. Or, like, if you have a notebook, I'm like, keep 2-3 pages for each gem, because you have a lot to write down. So I have tons and tons and tons on every gem, and I should just write it in a big document or find an emerald to do that for me and share it with all of you guys. So one thing that I've noticed in the comments before we move on to the pearls is okay, so for 2 years, I've been going to Dani, and for 2 years, a little less than 2 years, I've been convinced that my test said that I was a sapphire emerald with a little ruby and a little pearl, like really little pearl. And I was like, okay, I'm split. And she would say over and over and over again. And it took me 5 events to get in my head. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to actually sit with the rubies, because what she says is you cannot be opposite. For you guys that are saying that you're ruby pearl or emerald sapphire, you're not. I'm sorry, you're not. You have been groomed by someone to think that you are one of those things. And that's why I tested highly emerald on the test, because I am married to an emerald. And I've been with him, married for 12 years, together 13, 14 years. He grooms me to answer questions a certain way. That's not a bad thing, because I honor and respect him. He's my husband, and I do certain things the way that he might prefer them done to honor him. And he does things for me to honor my gem. And it was great to go with my husband to this 2 years ago, because he walked away saying, gems is by far the best things I've ever learned in my life. Too bad I'm learning it, at 38 years old. Like, it would have been great to learn this a long time ago. But you're not opposite. You're being groomed by something else. And if you really take the test again, or you listen to these things, or we talk more about these things, you'll actually really truly discover what you were born to be, not what someone else has pushed you to be, not what a parent has pushed you to be, not what a spouse or a boyfriend or a best friend or a school system has pushed you to be, but what you were born to be. And when you embrace that and you shine that, you are actually going to be the best version of yourself, guys. So I did embrace that I'm not emerald. That was Matthew coming out on the test. And I'm very split sapphire ruby. Very, very, very much so. Okay, so next we're going to talk about pearls. So all the gems enjoy helping others, but for pearls, that is their number one motivation. They are motivated by a cause, something bigger than themselves. They're not motivated by money. They're not motivated by competition. They don't want to be in the limelight, but rather they want to feel like they're contributing to a cause bigger than themselves. So for that reason, many pearls are involved in philanthropy, charities. They have strong convictions, thoughtful, patient, dislike controversy or conflict. You're not going to find a pearl like wanting any kind of confrontation, but they will have this kind of nasty habit of letting it build up so long that they just blow up at you. And you're like, wow, where did that come from, Matthew? Like, you never told me you were mad 2 years ago. Why are we talking about it now? So, and that's not to say, like, I know it's funny because, like, I'm heavily involved in charities, Blaine is, but that is not our driving force. You have to remember that, all gems like to help people, but that's not my driving force, is a cause in general. So pearls love discussing their family, long relationships. They, people closest to their heart. They've had the best friends for the longest time. They value authenticity and trust. They have no tolerance for fake friendships. Unlike sapphires, who thrive in the joys of meeting new people, pearls value long and rooted relationships and might struggle meeting newer people. They prefer heart-to-hearts rather than big social gatherings. So I know my pearls. When I'm like, come to Dani, come to Summit, come to the big house, come to the big party. And they're like, no, please, no, Kimberly. And I'm like, why? Why would you not want to do that? And I have to respect and honor that they're different than me. Pearls are loyal and trustworthy and love to serve and give of themselves. Because of that, they are often overlooked. They're usually walked on. They're taken advantage of. Pearls are the people that loan the same people money over and over and over again. They're big people pleasers, and all of that is really ego. I know we've talked about this on the last call, but that people pleasing is an ego issue. They want to make it. They want to be the hero. They want to be the person. They don't want to let anyone down, but really you're just enabling people to walk on you when it comes down to it. We can learn from pearls the value of keeping our word, serving others just for the sake of it, and being a loyal friend. If you are a pearl, you can avoid pitfalls by being more selective about who you help. by placing clear boundaries in your life, and you can learn to say no. All the pearls with me, say no, I can't do that. No, I don't have time for that. No, that is not a priority that's in line with my goals at this time, but I appreciate you asking me. You have to learn to say no, and this is something I'm really, really good at. So we can have a lesson on no someday. You don't want to let other people's down, so you don't say no. Pearls must work on putting themselves first every now and then so they don't get burned out. A pearl's mantra should be, it's more loving to say no sometimes. So learning to say no. If you're working with a pearl, be as authentic as possible. Pearls can sniff out a fraud in a second and will quickly lose trust. Pearls care less about facts, figures, or money, so appeal to their nature by sharing how you can help them or how you've helped others in the past, and celebrate how you give and help others. So pearls want to hear your stories, guys. They want to hear the transformation stories, the coaching stories, how you're making a difference in people's lives, how you're helping people get out of debt, how you're helping repair marriages, what this team can do to help people. That is what a pearl wants. Which is great. So their spiritual gifts are mercy and service. And like I was saying, all the gyms have similarities. Like all gyms do want to win, but in a different way than a ruby would want to win. Like Blaine said, the sapphire wants to win with the team. The ruby just wants to win. That's all that matters. And the pearl wants to win if it's for a cause. Like if it's for a bigger cause, then they're all for their team winning. So what do you want to say about pearls, Blaine?
Well, I'll tell you this funny thing. This was really funny. So, she starts each conversation talking about what they would look like. Like, we would spot them out. We talked about bright hair. So for Pearl, she's like, you would see them out. They, their hair, they don't color their hair. They don't maybe might not brush it. Like, it's just very el natural. Leslie, stop it. Very el natural, not a lot of makeup, just they're wearing their clothes from Goodwill. They're by 1980s Birkenstocks. Like, they're very calm. I'm dying, like, as she's saying this, and legit, I can't even make this up. I glance across the room. I see this woman wearing her Birkenstocks. So definitely her Goodwill pants. Her hair was like curly, but she brushed it out. So it was kind of like out to here, real natural, pulled back with like a banana clip from back in banana clip days. She legit reaches into her bag and pulls out a beverage, unscrews the lid of the mason jar and drinks it. I'm dying because we're in the Hyatt, like, Regency Hotel. She's drinking from her mason jar. Like, and she's not even thinking, like, la-di-la. And I was like, and pearl. Yep. Which is really funny. So pearls aren't trying to stand out. Their hair is not blue. They aren't wearing fun, vibrant colors. And that's just kind of a way to spot them. I mean, not necessarily, but I thought that was funny. That lady with her mason jar, Jason's like tapping me on the shoulder. My husband went, he's like, and I was like, yes, I see the mason jar lady. I see her. The thing I thought was interesting, Kimberly covered most of this, but pearls aren't really down for change. That's not really what they're trying to do. Like, if there's a system and it's in place, like, why do we need to change that? They will change if it's what the best thing for everyone and the best for the cause. They will, but they are not. They will adapt. They will just unhappily, but not. They're not going to tell anybody they're unhappy. They're internally unhappy to adapt with the change, which is funny. The other thing I thought, so Jason is an emerald pearl, and, they talk about how they're going to blow up one day. Well, I'm still waiting. We're like 12 years deep now, and the dude said one curse word in 12 years, so I think he might be broken. But the funny part about it is they talk about how pearls can come off self-righteous. So you just want to watch that, because they do follow the rules and they follow the system and they believe that they know the answers, they have the answers, and so that can come off in a self-righteous type way. And that's something that pearls need to be aware of. And when she said that, I was like, oh, yes, I know some people that I don't mean to be, but it can sound self-righteous. And so that's a tricky spot for pearls as well. I loved how she talked about, she's like, you can probably identify the pearls in your family. Who is holding the family heirlooms? The bowl that you don't want to get rid of, but the sapphire popped it or broke it at the last party and can't find it. The ruby's like, no, ain't nobody got time for this. Like, I don't want this. This takes up clutter in my house. The pearl's like, oh, that was Grandma Bessie's, and I'm going to keep it over here, put fruit in it on the table. So that's an easy way to spot the pearls, because they're holding on to the family heirlooms, and they are sentimental. And there's a spot. There's a little bit of pearl in me. Like, I got a little bit up in here, but those are my takeaways. You covered most of it. Are you watching comments? Because I wasn't watching.
Yeah, they were talking about donating hair, and that's a very Pearl thing to do, like not to dye your hair, or not to damage your hair, because you're going to donate it to a bigger cause, like very screaming Pearl. Like, yeah, they would not take my hair for sure. No, not taking my hair. All right, so the next up are the emeralds. The emeralds see the world in black and white. There is no gray. They love and need facts and figures. If you're an emerald, you might find yourself being misunderstood a lot of the time, having people think you're cold or insensitive, but really you just want to know the bottom line, and you want to understand what's going on before you make any decisions. And sometimes these decisions can take a very, very long time, because you're just doing endless research and endless trying to make it perfect before you ever jump on anything. You'll find this with emeralds getting into the business, or if you're an emerald in the business and you feel like you haven't really taken off, it's because you need like a system for your system. Like, everything has to be a system and organized and focused, and it can really hold emeralds back. They love systems and organization. Their systems have systems, and they can get hung up on trying to organize things so much that they never actually move forward or get started on a project, because they want everything to be perfectly organized for the project. Emeralds are usually the grammar police, and they hate typos and when people are late. I often have people every once in a while send me a little note saying that there's a typo in my Facebook post. I'm just going to let you all know it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. If you want to tell me, you are more than welcome to, but I would rather you take the time to send an invite to someone, because I'm not going to fix it. Unless I said like a bad word and wasn't supposed to, or say something like totally inappropriate. Like, I'm not going to fix commas. I'm going to write in lowercase letters. It's okay. It's who I am. It's okay. As an emerald, you can avoid getting stuck by focusing on just one thing at a time, and try to force yourself to finish the learning stage quickly so you can get started moving forward. So don't try to learn everything in the back office. If you want to focus on learning one thing and then move forward, do that. Don't try to figure out all your invites and responses and objections and everything you're going to say. Just start sending invites, and then we'll work on the rest. So perfect one thing at a time and get moving. An emerald's mantra needs to be done is better than perfect. So just focus on getting things done. Let's see. If you're working with an emerald, make sure to give them clear steps, expectations, and all the info they need to make their decision. Emeralds will do their own research, but you'll gain some bonus points in their eyes if you provide them with all the facts, figures, and results of what they want to see. Now, if you are an emerald, you have to realize that you don't have to present everyone with like you're talking to an emerald. I think this is where emeralds might get caught up when they're trying to share Shakeology, and they want to give all 70 ingredients and all the information, and share coaching and all the cycle bonus information and all the ways that you can earn. And if you're talking to me, like, I'm like, what? Like, does it work? Is it gonna help me lose weight? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, is it simple? Does it work? Can I do it? Like, that's what the Sapphire wants to know. And is there going to be a prize or a party at the end of my challenge? Because I will join. So you can see how knowing someone's gem and what they need from you will help you talk to people and help motivate them. The emerald spiritual gift is wisdom. They're smart. I mean, they do their research. They take their time. My husband is also an emerald pearl, like Jason, and Matthew, he does want to know all the facts and figures, but like, I remember when we first, I don't even know if we were married yet, but it was time to get like a new TV. We had like, when we were dating, we lived in this like duplex or whatever. And we had this huge, monster old school TV, big screen TV, it was time to get a new TV. Well, Matt, I was like, a Sapphire goes and buys the TV, guys. They walk into Best Buy, they put their credit card down, and they buy the TV. An Emerald, not so much. And so we are very opposite. Like, we are going to research the freak out of that TV. We are going to find out what Consumer Report says. They are going to find out, what size is the best, the pixels, the this, the that, the delivery. We're going to compare prices, and then we're going to make the decision. And one day he said, let's go buy that TV today. And I was like, you're kidding. We're going to buy the TV. It's been like a year and a half we've been talking about this TV. So we go buy this TV. I kid you not. Like a week later, they come out with like the cheap flat screen LCDs, and I'm stuck with this huge freaking tube TV that cost me like $2,500 for the next 10 years. Like, we had to haul that thing around. It's still in my garage. I'm like, this is a joke. Like, now you can buy a TV for $400. Like, but that's my point. Like, I feel like he's researched and waited so long that it's like, it's done, dude. Now that opportunity passed you by. They can overthink things so much. There's but smart, wisdom, weakness, perfectionism. So what do you want to share about emeralds? I know we're both married to emeralds, Blaine. So it's very common to be married to the opposite too, because you're attracted to that person because they have what you don't.
Well, I am a ruby emerald. I went to Dani believing that I was an emerald ruby. And they're really close. I tested close, but I think ruby has the edge over here, but I'm very close behind. I like structure, a lot actually, but, Jason is an emerald pearl, but Jason is a unique bird. So we do well together. Keeping with the clothing mantra, because that's what I've been sharing, emeralds are they just classic clothing. There's not a lot of bright happening. They just look pretty professional. Just they're not wearing Birkenstocks, but they're not probably mixing patterns of LuLaRoe either. They're keeping it pretty simple over there in the emerald world, which is funny. I thought this was really funny. She was like, those people that the Sapphires get a survey after the event and they probably don't ever see the email, but they definitely don't do the survey. Well, if you have a bad experience, the Emerald is going to take the time to call and then follow up with a scathing email of the bad customer service experience in which they have received and detail out each time, and I've done that. Oh my, have I sent scathing emails, and I have the details of exactly how they went wrong from the start to finish, which was funny. But one of the things that kind of hit me in the gut for emerald, from my emerald self, was emeralds. She said emeralds care more about being right than what's right. And so I have always kind of prided myself, and I do prided myself on attention to detail, like whatever that is, whether that's in a conversation or I saw something somewhere, I remember the name, I remember the face, like I just pay attention to that. And when someone wants to recite that for whatever reason, I'm like, no, that's not how that went down. Let me tell you how that went down, because I remember how that went down. I remember where you were standing, what you were wearing, how your hair was pulled back, what I smelled like, and how it went down. Like, I remember, I know that's how that went down. And it annoys the ever-loving piss out of me when you want to argue with me. Because I don't care. I know it's how it went down, so I just need you to concede. Well, that's ego. And I'm going to need to get over myself. And then she hit the gut check with, actually, all of us, whatever shiny emerald you are honey badger, stop it, Leslie. I care a whole awful lot. Isn't that what Pooh says? No, that's like a Lorax. I care a whole awful lot, an awful lot. Anyway, I can't read you guys' chats or look at Teresa. She's like laughing hysterically over there. She said, all people only use 10% of our brains. So what you're actually seeing is only 10% of what's happening. So even my emerald self, who likes to pride myself on details, I'm only seeing 10% of the picture. And my 10% doesn't match that sapphire's 10% or that pearl's 10%. So it's perception, people. Like, it doesn't matter. Let it go, Blaine. And let it, like, for all of us, like when the sapphires get annoyed with the emerald, like, just, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. So that was my big takeaway, my gut check for me. Yeah, don't mess with me, Bree. It's legit up in here. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever. She's a softie.
I'm a total softie.
One does have all the gems in them, except for Jason. Jason does not have all the gems in him. He really doesn't give a lot of pearl. He's mostly emerald. But
Jason
does have a little bit of everything in him. So
Jason's broken. Jason has 0 sapphire, like 0.
Okay, so the last are the rubies, and so I'm sapphire ruby. I don't know which one is more. It just in a true ruby fashion, I think that I'm the best parts of both gems. I don't have any of the bad parts other than the total unorganized scatterbrained self of I'm not a good packer. I don't put stuff away. A good way to know if you're an emerald is if you have issues with how other people load the dishwasher. Raise your hand if you have issues with how other people load the dishwasher. You're an emerald. Yep, Carmen Free, you're an emerald. Like, that shit bothered me when I got married, because I would try to be nice and load the dishwasher and do a good job, right? And Matthew would come behind me and like rearrange it. And I was like, whoa. We're going to have to talk. Like, if you want to load the dishwasher, then there's no point in us both doing it. Or you can just, like, go with the flow and let the sapphire do it the way she wants to do it. So, if someone's going to do it wrong, just let them do it. But you're definitely, yeah, that's a true sign of an emerald. Okay, rubies. Rubies are competitive. So much so that rubies don't like to even play a game that they don't think they can win. And I heard this the first time years ago when I went to Dani, because I really was curious of what my children were and to start to teach my kids the gems and start to interact with other people. And I actually feel like I have one of each. My oldest, when he heard about the test, had to take the test. And I was like, you don't have to take the test. It's not fun. It's boring. It's really long. Like, that's what a sapphire would say, right? And he was like, no, I have to take the test. I have to take the test. I want to know the answers. I was like, because you're an emerald. Like, you want to know the facts and the figures and how it's structured. And he was. He tested almost exactly like his dad. My middle son is a ruby, James. If he's not going to win, he doesn't want to play. If he stinks at the game or knows he's not good at the board game or knows he's not good at a sport, he doesn't want to play. He could even be really good. He's a really good swimmer, but if he's not always first or always the best, he has a really big issue with that. And then my youngest, totally me. He is a walking disaster. But anyways, so rubies are competitive. It's fun to find out where your kids are because you can help figure out how to motivate them. So they don't like to play the game if they can't win. If you are a ruby, you probably take family game night way too seriously. Rubies want to be the best at everything. They thrive on it. If you are a ruby, you are likely constantly striving for your next big goal. Rubies want to feel valued for being unique, special, and the best. Rubies like to celebrate their accomplishments and thrive on public recognition. Lots of business owners are rubies because rubies are blessed with extra confidence in their abilities to be the best and more likely take risks. Their spiritual gift is rulership. Like, they are natural born leaders. These people come out wanting to lead, wanting to rule, wanting to take charge from the get-go. Rubies can sometimes be too direct and cause hurt feelings, but they are not necessarily confrontational. They're just distracted by whatever they are working towards. Rubies are exceptionally susceptible to the comparison trap and will get very blue if they feel like someone is outperforming them. As a ruby, your mantra needs to be, comparison is the thief of joy. and I actually have this on a coffee mug. So this is something that really stands out to me. I do get caught up in the comparison trap a lot, and not just with this business or body issues or whatever. Like, that's something that I've definitely worked on the last couple years, and it's very freeing. The thing is, with all these things, all these gems that need to work on something or their weaknesses, guys, you can get better at weaknesses. That's the beauty of it. And all the strengths and all the spiritual gifts and all the things you were born with, you can get even better with all of those things. So it's kind of exciting to see like how shiny you can make your gem, and how great you can be at pushing those weaknesses away. When I know that that's one of my weaknesses, I can be more aware of it and work on it. Rubies can teach us how to go all in for a goal. They can teach us how to be brave and take bigger risks, and to dive right in and never give up. As a Ruby, you can avoid burnout by narrowing your focus to one thing instead of trying to be the best at everything. And also as a Ruby, you can avoid hurting those you love by working on your communication skills with the other gems, and working on being more sensitive on how others are feeling. They need to be valued for their work, and a lot of times their work goes unnoticed. She was like, if you need something done, you give it to a Ruby. A Ruby like knocks it out, gives it to a Dun. She also said, if you need something done, you give it to an Emerald, but a Ruby's going to have it done in an hour, and an Emerald's going to be researching it for the next week. They'll both get done and done correctly. It's just how fast do you want it done? So those are my kind of notes on the Ruby. I'm curious to see what Blaine will say, because she kind of took a different direction talking about the Rubies in this last one. She does usually a page of like attributes and how they dress and how they work, and like she even plays music that resonates with that kind of gem during it. And this time she just kind of gave like a one-on-one motivational speech to Rubies, which was awesome. A lot of people really needed to hear it and connected with it, because Rubies get burnt out. Rubies are great for this business. They're great for any business. Like, if you can find a Ruby that's willing to go after it, then they will, as long as they don't quit because they're not winning. Like, as long as they don't get in that comparison trap after a month, 2 months, a year, and it's like, oh, well, she's making more, she's doing more, I'm just going to quit. That's really training a Ruby to, that's personal development, trying to get people into personal development right away. Blaine, what were your takeaways since you are, you realized that you were more Ruby, so you obviously had some takeaways.
Well, first, what gem equals winos? Because that's what we've got up in here. Whatever gem that is, these mofos are all up on that gem, okay?
Wednesday wine night.
Except for me and Kelly.
I don't have any wine, thank you very much. I'm teasing.
And Carmen, because Carmen and Kimberly are rocking their 3-day refresh up in here.
Right. That's right.
And Bree, no wine for Bree. And I'm not saying why either, because she's being ridiculous. All right, so Rubies. I am a Ruby. So she started out by, I'm going to tell you what they look like. What do you guys think Rubies look like? Rubies are brand whores. They are rocking their Tory Burch shoes, and they are wearing their, I put that one in there special for you. They're rocking their whatever brand name it is. Do they have their Coach purse? Do they have their special bag? Their brand name whores, and they're not shopping at the Goodwill like the pearls across the street. So that's just, and they've got their extensions in and their eyelashes on, and they are dressed to the nines, looking like beautiful Kimberly Wilcox up in here. So that is a Ruby. Yes, everyone laughs. She laughed too, because I love her. But she talked a little bit about Rubies. She went to each group, and she played music that was about them, like Kimberly said, and she talked to each one. When she got to the Rubies, she didn't talk to us for very long about like all the other stuff that we covered. She covered that a little bit. One of the things we struggle with patience. Rubies just want to be first. They want to take charge, and they just want to get it done. Like, we got it. One of the other things I thought was great is that don't tell a Ruby they can't do it. Like, you want to motivate a Ruby? That's how you motivate a Ruby. You tell them they can't. holy bejesus. If you tell me I can't do it, I will kill myself to prove you wrong. Like, so that's a great motivation for a Ruby. But also a good point for Rubies was a Ruby's production level goes up and it goes down because, this is a problem for me often. Rubies take on so much because they want to get it done and they can't. And then the list feels like it's about to swallow them up, and then they can shut down, right, Krista O'Connell? They shut down completely and they don't want to do any of it. I just want to lay on the couch and suck in every bit of Netflix that I can and eat bonbons because I can't function. And that is that's the opposite extreme. And I've been there. I'm like, oh my God, my list feels so heavy. I can't breathe. My chest hurts. Oh my God, I'm just going to lay here and watch Netflix for 12 hours straight because House of Cards is fantastic. And that's the downside of Rubies. But then a scandal girl, that's what I'm saying, Olivia Pope in the house. So but she stopped all that, and then she talked to Rubies like we were having coffee. And I was bawling by the end of it because she just said, you guys take on too much. You do too much. And you're entering a season of rest. Like, this is the year for you to rest and to find balance in your life. And I'll share I think I shared this last week, just a little quick thing. First of all, if you weren't on the call last week, we're going to be talking about Dani Johnson a lot. I am going to be like a roadie. Like, I think I'm in her fan club. I don't know, maybe I'd still lock it up her hair. Like, she's my jam. So if you haven't been to Dani Johnson, like, you need to sell a kidney. I don't really care. Sell somebody else's kidney and go to Dani Johnson. She will change your life. I might sell Jason's to get to Cleveland. Like, it's fine. It's probably fine. So it will change your life, and I just believe that. I do. And so I was really struggling with where to go. I worked a part-time job, and I'm trying to build this business, and I'm a Ruby, so my list is big, and I want to do it, and I need a website, and I needed this, and I'm also an Emerald. Like, girl, gotta sleep, like, for real. And so I'm struggling, and Jason's like, quit your job. And I'm like, I can't quit my job. What are you talking about? He's like, you want to build this, you're good at this, quit your job. And anyway, long story short, I did quit my job. I put in my notice last Thursday to leave my job. And that's a really big deal for me. And it had a lot to do with the way Dani spoke to us. Like, stop. I wasn't sleeping enough. I was killing myself trying to grow a business, trying to build a job. And I took a step out in faith. Like, you have to take a step out in faith. And Jason believes in me. Sometimes even more than I do. And so she said, you're afraid that you can't handle the success you're afraid that you can't handle the success that we desire. And that was big. Like, I want bigger things. And so she said, this is the year to release and let stuff go. And that meant for me, the comparison trap, some negative relationships. Like, I don't want to be like 98% people. Like, I don't. I want to be like 2%. And if that means that my friends are these square little boxes of your heads every night drinking wine together, then I guess you're my new friends. Like, I'm going to get rid of my old friends, and I'm just going to look at you guys. You're my new friends because we're going to be 2%ers together, but I guess I'm going to have to get wine with you. So that was a big deal. She said, just receive your gifts and then release all of that other crap. What's ahead is your heart is clean, and just go with the flow. And it's hard for me to express how she said it, but it was just such, like, she was talking to me. Like, we were having a cup of coffee, and I could feel, it just felt like a release. And so I embraced my Ruby self, and I resigned. And yeah, it's a couple other notes. Step away from those who try to buy you with money or recognition. Like, that's not what Rubies are trying to get over here. So Dani is really life-changing. I'm telling you, I have a locket of her hair hidden in my purse. I smell it before I go to sleep. So I think that's probably fine, right? it's just, Teresa, stop laughing at me. I'm your jam, aren't I? So she's coming to Cleveland, and if you can't, you have to get to a Dani Johnson. And Jen's, the whole thing changed my life. But when she spoke to Ruby's that day, oh, I'm not someone's jam. They just hung up. That's sad. And when she spoke to Jim's, Ruby's in particular, it was life changing. So, all right, I'm all done now.
That's awesome. I'm super excited. I'm glad you shared that you left.
Holy crap! How can I catch up with 45 comments?
And well, I saw a lot of people saying, you know, that they want to leave their job, and I don't want you to think that, you know, like you go to Dani and she's like, quit your job. Like she actually, you know, teaches you how to like even like be better at your job. Like there's a whole series called Job Domination that we have, and like how to get a raise, or how to speak life over like your boss and your job and the people you work with. Because when you're constantly like, I hate my job, then your job hates you back. Like it's just, we reap what we sow, and it's the seeds that we're planting. So if you go in like hating everyone, like they're just going to hate you back. But that's a totally different call. But on the topic of everyone wanting to leave their job, like that is the sapphire in me. Like that is like the team. Like nothing would make me happier. I will be crying my eyes out I cried when Blaine told me she'd quit her job. I will cry when Carmen tells me she quits her job. I will cry when Leslie and Teresa tell me they quit their job, because like in my head, it's happening. So you have to ask yourself, in your head, is it happening? Because if it's not, like if you really don't believe that it will happen, it won't. I mean, I know that it's as simple as that. Like, I know that sounds crazy, and you're like, well, there's a lot more to it, blah, 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 blah. And that's just your emerald self coming out. Just stop. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, you have to believe that it's going to happen. No different than our challengers have to believe that they're going to lose the 10, 50, 100 pounds they're going to lose. Like, I have people that don't believe it, and it's never going to happen. They don't ever believe. I sat across from a woman at lunch this week, and she just doesn't believe she'll ever lose the weight because she's been battling it for so long. And that very reason is why she won't. Because she doesn't believe that it's even possible. So if you don't believe it's possible, why are you going to try? Why are you going to put the hours and the time and the effort and walk out on faith on certain things? Like, you're going to have to walk out on faith on certain things. There's going to be events, and there's going to be opportunities that you're going to think, I don't have time for. I can't afford that. I can't do that. There's going to be things that we ask you to do that make you sick to your stomach, that invites that make you want to throw up, that videos that you feel uncomfortable doing. But doing those things is going to get you that much closer to your ultimate goal. And it all starts with belief. Like, belief could be a good 30-minute call. I've done it. I'll share one again. But to end on gyms, I just want to say, when you know your gym, you can work to maximize and shine your gym. Like I talked about, you can maximize your strengths. You can minimize your weaknesses. You can also learn how to be a better friend, a better mentor, and a leader to those in your life by understanding better how to communicate with them. This will improve all of your relationships, guys. Walking out of there and knowing that Matthew was a emerald pearl, and knowing now that I'm a sapphire ruby, and that we're complete opposites, like we have to utilize each other's strengths. Though I get to utilize his strengths from a different end, and he gets to utilize my strengths from a different end, and they rub off on you guys in a good way, not in a bad way. So it's, you know, you don't want to throw around gyms in a negative way, like, oh, like that's so Ruby. Like, we can do it and laugh about it, but this is what you were born to be. Like, this is who you were designed to be. So it doesn't change. You might be molded by someone else, but you were designed to be this person. So when you learn the gym types of others, it's like you can start to speak a different language and communicate in a much better way. And you'll be able to speak directly to the areas of the personality that you hold most dear in your life. and you're not, I mean, you can get along with every personality. We're all beautifully made. We're just different. And a lot of the things, I feel like the more you study this more and more, and the events that you go to, or I have the whole gym's like mastery series that we can sit down and press play together at Summit, would be kind of cool, just like in the background. Because I learn through osmosis a lot. But it's amazing the relation, like how you'll start to respect other people in a different way, and not like jump all over them. Like, oh, she's so, needs to have all the brands and needs to have all this. Like, that's maybe a weakness that someone could work on, but that's who she is. Like, that's what makes her happy. That's what she enjoys. Or, girls like, oh, they're so, can come off as goody two shoes or judgmental or this or that, because they think higher of themselves than other people. But they don't even realize they're doing it. And rubies don't even realize that they're coming off aggressive. This is just their personality. So I think we all have a one-up on the rest of the world, like really diving into our strengths and our weaknesses and polishing those things. So does anyone want to share anything or ask anything? This is my last live call for 6 weeks. Yeah, Carmen is starting real estate school, so wish her luck. If they want to or he quit. So that's, everyone read that. Yeah, I'm very excited. But you'll watch all the recordings, right, Carmen? Right, Carmen? All right, I know you will. Yeah, because I want you to quit too. So I think you'll be an excellent real estate / Beachbody coach. All right, guys. Well, I know it was a full hour tonight, and I appreciate you joining us, and I'm excited. It was good to see you, Caitlin. Thanks for joining us. Caitlin was at the last Dani with us. She's not on Team Ignite, but she joined us, which was very sweet. So yeah, plan on getting to a Dani, if not to Cleveland, sometime in the fall. This will be the last one on the East Coast, she said, for the year. So I imagine they're going to be moving to LA area, and Texas is where she usually does it. I'm sure she'll have one in Texas again this year because she lives there. So I bet there'll be another one in Texas, and I bet there'll be one in LA if I had to bet on it, which I enjoy gambling because I'm a sapphire.
Party at Leslie and Teresa's house. Holla.
Yes. Teresa will be at the
Oh,
night.
good. The big wine glass will be out. Perfect. We can all drink from the same cup.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
It'll be like communion with Leslie's wine glass. It's perfect.
All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Night, night.